It's drawing time again. Let's get started. I thought today would be fun to draw a robot, and I love to draw robots because you can be super creative with them. I'm going to start at the top of my paper with a skinny rectangle. Just like that. Now I'd like to try to make my robot look a little more 3D, so it will look like something you can actually hold. And I'm going to do that first with my robot's head by making it look more like a box. And I can do that by picking these three corners, 1, 2, 3. And from those three corners, I'm going to draw 3 short diagonal lines. And they all go in the same direction. Once I have those 3 diagonal lines drawn, then I just connect them. A straight line up and a straight line over. Now suddenly I've turned my rectangle into more of a box. That's going to be the robot's head. I'm going to do the same idea when I draw the body. I'm going to start with a bigger rectangle this time. Notice I left a little space in between the 2 rectangles. That way I have room to draw a neck. From here, I'm going to draw those 3 diagonal lines, just like I did before. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to connect the dots. Now, as you're connecting these 2, if you end up running into this rectangle, don't worry about it. You just stop your line when you hit the rectangle, and you don't draw inside that box. Now it looks like I can draw my line without a problem. There we go. Next, I'm going to give my robot a face. And I want mine to look like there are some almost like knobs or dials for the eyes. So I started with 2 circles. And maybe I'll try to make my circles look a little 3D as well. To make the circles look 3D, I'm going to draw the letter C right next to my circle. Same thing on this side, the letter C right next to it. Nope, that one filled in, so you really can't even see the line. That's okay. Maybe I'll color this one in so it matches. There we go. My mouth is going to be a long, skinny rectangle. And maybe I'll put a zigzag line in there like he's talking. I'm going to work on the arms now. For my arm, I want it to look like it's part of this side right here, coming out of this side. I'm going to start with a little box. And one of the reasons I drew that was because of this line I have right here. I didn't want it to get in the way of the rest of my drawing. So this line, or this rectangle, will make it look like it's part of this side. From here, I'm going to draw a little curve, and then a rectangle. And again, the arms, you can make them any way you like. I like to have a lot of different shapes working together to make my arm. Maybe here I'm going to draw a circle. That will look like the joint or the elbow. 2 short little lines. Now I'm going to get a little more creative down here, and I'm going to make it look like the bottom arm is made of some different shapes. Since this part of my arm I'm thinking is probably round like a tube, I'm going to draw a little smile across. Notice the smile's bigger than the shape above it. From the outside of the smile, I'm going to connect it like a V into the back shape. See how it looks like this shape is now fitting inside of this? From the tips of the V's, I'll draw a straight line down and another curved line to finish it. So it looks like a round cylinder. 2 more small lines. And I'm going to do the same thing I did here, just a little shorter. Curved line, turn it into V's, straight lines down, and a curved line. Now for my robot's hand. I'm going to draw a curve, like a half circle, And my robot's going to have pinchers instead of a hand. So to do that, I draw two curves coming out with a straight line. So it looks kind of like crab claws. And there, I have one arm finished. I'm going to do the same idea for this arm. Now, if you want it to look exactly the same, you can, or maybe you have a different combination of shapes. Since I can't see this connection over here because it's kind of hidden on this side, it's okay just to have the straight lines come out. Circle, two straight lines, smile with the V's, straight line down, and a curve. Now, as you can see, my arm ended up going off the side of the page. So I'm just going to continue with that, and I'm not even going to draw the hand because it would be over here. I wouldn't be able to see it at all. Next, I'm going to think about what's going to be inside my robot's belly. And again, this is where you can be really creative, thinking about what kind of knobs or buttons or dials your robot has. I'm going to draw 3 circles. 1, 2, 3. And maybe inside each one I'll put a little line to make it look like they are dials. Maybe they're showing different levels of things on the robot. Maybe I will put some rectangles to look like buttons. If you want your buttons to be 3-dimensional like your robot, think about how we did that. 3 diagonal lines and 2 straight lines. 1, 2, 3 lines, and connect the dots. Down here I have a little more space. Maybe I'll just put a big panel with some dots to make it look like it was sealed closed. There we go. Next, my robot's legs. I don't have a whole lot of room for the legs. They're going to be pretty short. The legs, I want to make it look like they can move pretty easily. So I'm going to start with a slightly curved line, and I'm just going to repeat that same line again and again and again as it comes down. Starting here, curve around and over, come up a little bit higher, curve around and over. All those curves make it look like it's this material that can move pretty easily. So it looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side. I'll do the same over here. Next, I have to draw the feet. And just like everything else is 3-dimensional, I want my feet to look 3D too. This time, I'm going to start by making 2 diagonal lines. And those are going to come from this last shape right here. 2 lines out. I'll do the same thing to this foot. Same angle, 2 lines out. At the end of these 2 lines, I'm going to make a long, skinny rectangle. Same thing over here. Connect those dots and turn that into a rectangle. Next, I take the bottom corner of the rectangle, draw a straight line back, and then a straight line down at the back. Bottom of the rectangle, straight line back to the leg, and a straight line down. Now my robot has some really big feet. The last thing, I'm looking up here and I forgot to draw the neck. So I have to draw something that connects the two. Now, just like I have with my arm here, I have a line that goes across and I can't erase it since I'm using marker. If you're using pencil, you can erase that pretty easily. I'm just going to draw, I think, 2 lines straight down. And to make it look like it's connecting in the center of the body, I'm going to draw a little curve here, It looks like a smile almost in the top of my robot. And I'm going to draw those lines straight down. Now I still have that straight line across, and I could kind of hide that by just drawing some curved lines, and it just kind of disappears in with the rest of the curves. I think the very last thing is maybe I'll put an antenna on the top of my robot's head, or maybe some antennas coming out the sides. You can really have fun with this and add whatever other details you would like to add to your robot. I think I'm finished adding details for mine, so I'm ready to color. That's it for today. Let's do this again tomorrow.